All right. Hello. My faith story is a story from when I was in my early 30s. And, I had been married for a while. And my oldest son, who is now about 25, then he was about 3 years old. And he was very, very sick. He got very sick with pneumonia, with fluid in his lungs, and he had surgery. And, he was in the hospital for 2 to 3 months, and we were really worried about him. And so at that time, I was attending another church, and it was a Baptist church. It was out in Red Bank. But what I did was I was praying to God, and I was praying, and I was just praying that God's will be done. And because at that time I didn't know if he was going to make it or not. And kind of reminded me of the story of Abraham and Isaac. And I was like, it's up to you what you want to do, God. If he's going to live or die, it's up to you. It was just completely out of my control. And it kind of really took me a lot back to my Sunday school experiences and atonement, and also some what I learned at Catholic school. So that's when, after he did recover, of course, and he got well. And that's when I decided that I was going to come back to atonement and bring the kids back, and, start going to church here again. And that was, let me see, how old am I? That was about 20 years ago, I suppose. So, it was a good experience in the end. And I think for a lot of people who are in their 20s and 30s, I think for them, it takes experiences like that to kind of remind them that, sometimes you're going to get to a point where you're not in control of everything, and you're going to need something to lean on. You're going to need somebody you're going to need a higher power to turn to. You're going to need Jesus at one point, and that's when you start to realize that that's what you need. There's nothing else. There's no one who can help you, and some things are just beyond your control. And when you get to the end of yourself, that's when you realize that you need God, you need Jesus. And that's kind of my story. And since I've been here in the church and working in Sunday school, and later on doing the youth retreats, I've learned more and more. And I think my faith has grown a lot within the years of my kids going to Sunday school. It was all about them, but really what it did was it deepened my faith as well. And I learned a lot more than I ever learned. And, it improved my relationship with God as my kids were developing theirs as well.